Well, today we're going to talk about succulents, and Matt has been in and out of the greenhouse here for the last few months and has put together some different types of succulent gardens for us to take a look at. And we've actually had them on the table. A lot of people like to come in and take a look, put these plants together. Great outdoor pots that you can put on the patio, and then some of these plants actually we would lift and move into the house in the winter time. But we wanted to talk about succulents, especially now. Their colors are changing, and a lot of beauty, a lot of ease and use for these guys. So why don't we just start talking a little bit about some of these.
Especially the color on this jade. If you get a close-up here of that variegated jade, you're really starting to see some of the pinks and some of the purples even kind of pulling out of that jade, which is an awesome plant. That is a household plant. The way that I view it is have it, enjoy it in the summer outside, dig it up and create a little sanctuary for it in your own home, or propagate from it.
Right.
And then you could have, 30 plants from one plant. It's great for kids and great for adults as well. What's nice about working with succulents that are potted, they're up off the ground.
Okay.
So most of the time you're able to work with them, and they make a living centerpiece too. So maybe you were in the mood and you wanted to have a nice dinner outside and a bistro set.
Right.
You could throw a livable centerpiece right in there. And something like this Sedum and Aloe Vera combo would be a really nice centerpiece for your meal outdoors.
You got these stones too. You went out to select stones.
Yep,
and picked out some of these stones, and I mean, what a different look the stones do for these pots.
Oh, definitely.
They're really cool.
And they add a huge element of height. So a lot of times you don't get that height out of some of your succulents, like your hens and chicks that are more towards the base. But by adding a stone in there, you get a huge amount of height. You get some dynamic attributes of the stone. Also the colors coming across, matching real well with a nice lush green of these succulents right here with some of your sedums.
It's like a mini terrain. Really, it's very, very, very interesting. And the nice thing is, if you pull these plants out, like this jade that has to come out, or even this cordyline that has to come out, you often just kind of leave a little spot for them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then just pop them back in the springtime if you have to trim the roots a little bit or anything like that. So just really just a beautiful look. And these are things that I'm seeing in a lot of garden books, garden design. All sorts of magazines are showing you that you should take these plants and put them together because the look is so unique. A lot of people haven't seen things like this.
And you get a chance to integrate plants that are normally house plants and with things that are your perennials. So you've got mixes of calanchos and Aloe Veras that, although they're not hardy here, you're going to get a great combo with your hardier hens and chicks or sempervirens and your sedums.
Right, right. This calancho, this one too here, I love it. The look of this, the twist that it's as it grows, it starts to twist. The one thing to notice that people will realize that if they get it in a little bit more sunlight, the edging of this is going to turn more red. It's been a little bit undercover here, so it's not turning the true colors, but what fun for somebody to have that, start to have it turning red more and more with the sunlight.
And they're relatively easier plants to take care of. They don't require a whole lot of water, so you're allowed to go on vacation and forget about them for a weekend.
Right, especially
and they're going to do fine.
Yeah.
Especially what you said with the pot here, because you're going to have some re-radiated heat from the stones in here as well.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the little packs that we have here. That actually, Matt, is a sedum that I grew from seed. This is its second year. And it's a newer one. I'm not sure, we've just kind of learned about it, but boy, it's really turning the fall red color. A little bit sooner because it's in that pack, a little more stressed out because it's in back one of our greenhouses where it gets to be about 120 degrees, but surviving quite nicely in those little plastic little containers.
And these little containers are kind of remind me of green roofs, and that's where one of the areas where sedums are really expanding.
Right.
We're finding all kinds of new cultivars out that work well on a rooftop garden because they're able to handle 120 to 140 degrees heat without water, and they're also able to hold on to their foliage for quite some time, add some dynamic color, and they overwinter well too. So things like this Angelina Sedum and some of your Kamchatkas have got a lot of potential for overwintering in your garden as well. So although they look great in the containers, they also are plants that you could propagate, and as they expand and get bigger than the container, you can take them and put them into your own garden.
And then another thing to mention too about these is that they do flower. So people don't realize just because they're a succulent, they will flower, and a lot of them will flower at different times throughout the year.
Correct. You got some of your Sedum acres and some of your Kamchatkas that flower a little bit earlier, and then you've got your Siboldianas, which have probably the most dynamic flower. They get a beautiful pink, purple flower, nice little star clusters towards the end of the season.
a lot of options. What about living walls? That's something that we might try to start doing too. Building some slanted walls and things like that. So we're going to try to put some of those together as well.
And that's a great way to beautify a hardscape element and just make it a living treasure.